All right, fellas, what we got going today is some dry suit repair. This is how I found the leaks. Turned it inside out, zipped her up, taped off the wrist gaskets, which I'm about to replace. Taped off most of the neck gasket. I left a little bit open, and I got this thing tied to my raft pump, which has a half power setting and blows her right up. Hit her with the spritz soapy water. I've already done this. I did the whole thing twice. I found one hole there, one hole right there, and one back here on the little booty there. This worked real well for me. I don't know how much pressure it could actually take, so I left that vented, but it had no problems showing me exactly where I was leaking. None of my zippers are leaking. I was worried about my chest zipper because I'm always wet on my chest, but I've always kind of thought that was more sweat than anything. But no leaks found there. Blew out a couple wrist gaskets this season. They dry rotted. They're still technically working. But that's what we got on the docket for today. So I've already done this. I'm letting it dry. I washed the soapy water off with just water hose. And right now I'm about to flip it over and let the back side dry. This side's good and dry, and then we'll take it inside and work on actual dry suit repair. All right, guys, so we spent some money. This is everything we're going to use for our dry suit repair. I have never done this. Seems very straightforward, but this is what we got. I bought a field repair kit from Kokatat. All this stuff came from Kokatat, but this is what I got. That's everything that's in there. Got the instructions right here. Some tear aid, aqua seal, zipper lube, some patches, alcohol pads. We're not going to use the tear aid today, but we are going to use a couple patches and the aqua seal, and we will go ahead and lube our zipper. And like I said, it came with instructions. Right here we have everything to do our neck gasket replacement. This little jig, the double-sided tape, more aqua seal, the actual neck gasket right here, the other side of the jig, and this little cup thing that helps to elevate the neck gasket when it's securing. Instructions to do so. Everything came with a sticker. This is 3 separate purchases. Actually, I guess technically it's 5 because I got a neck gasket there. I have 2 wrist gaskets in that package there. All of that obviously separate. Over here we have a wrist gasket, an ankle gasket, which I don't have ankle gaskets, but it came as a set and my buddies have them, so you know, this should work out. All of this was just north of 300 bucks. I sent my dry suit in 2 seasons ago, or well, actually last season, not 2 seasons ago, last January, I guess. I sent it in and had the neck gasket replaced, had them pressure test it. They put on a couple little small patches, a new neck gasket, did the pressure test, sent it back. It was just north of 200 bucks. And my neck gasket had a small little bitty tear in it that I was able to cut out just by trimming it. But my wrist gaskets were not replaced last year. They're 2 years old on the dry suit, and they began to dry rot. My experience, I'm only getting 2 seasons out of a set of gaskets, and yeah, I don't like sending my stuff off. I kind of like to be able to just fix it right now and have it back in service tomorrow, you know, within 24 hours. Some of these patches over here can be done, you know, you can get back in the water immediately. I am going to carry this in my dry box whenever I raft, just in case I do get a little hole, I can stay dry. I just hate wearing a dry suit and being wet inside of it. It just aggravates me. It's a waste of time and energy. But this is what we're going to do today. We're going to start with patching a few holes, and then we're going to move into the wrist gasket. And I haven't decided if I'm actually going to replace my neck gasket this season or not, but we are going to do the wrist gaskets for sure. All right, guys, we moved into the jungle that is my dining room, where we sit here and have this stuff cure. Stuff that's not in the kit, you're gonna need a pair of scissors for sure. And we're gonna have to weight this stuff down. We're gonna have to mash it nice and flat and hold it there for a while. I'm gonna let it go for 24 hours. I don't think you have to with the patches, but I'm gonna do that because we're also gonna do the wrist gaskets here in a minute. And they definitely say to wait 24 hours. But I came up with what I think might be pretty clever. You know, we're going to clean up our spots with alcohol pads. That's the little patches. I cut one patch into 4s. It's just a pinhole, so we're going to use that. Aqua seal, bam, peel the tape, stick it. And then to weight it down, I've got a iron skillet under here. Lay it nice and flat, and we'll get it with a dink. I'll put a magnet on there. There's one on the butt there underneath, and then I got one in the knee here. So I got a skillet there. This one will actually get both, but I'm going to use this to hold it down. So I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to leave it for 24 hours. Bada bing, bada boom. Should be good to go. We're going to lube our zippers, but that's for a later time. Wrist gaskets. We're going to do this first. Get it all stuck. With the magnets on the pans, we ought to be able to work and do our wrist gaskets without disturbing what we got going here, here, and here. And hopefully it works. If not, we'll always think it should have. All right, y'all, so we did it. Sorry I didn't video it, but I literally just thin layer of aqua seal, well, alcohol pad, cleaned it off, let that dry. I did all the spots, blew them, let them dry a couple of minutes. A little bit of aqua seal, thin layer over the size of the patch. Your patch should be bigger than your hole by quite a bit. That was crazy. And, you know, these were just pinholes that I'm fixing. Nothing real major. If we were fixing a tear, we would put some tear aid on the other side and then do this from this side. Always patch your permanent patches from the inside. A piece of tape on the outside can get you through the day if that's what we need to do. But, yeah, so I... little bit layer of aqua seal, peel the sticky off your patch, wham bam. I smoothed it out real good with my fingers. I was wearing gloves. I don't have them on now. I didn't want to get aqua seal all over the place. Little piece of wax paper. Keep the aqua seal from sticking to anything. And then the magnet is what I did. I have the bottom one down there. I have a magnet on the inside. Right there you can see. Same thing on the underside is a piece of wax paper to keep the aqua seal from sticking to my iron skillet. And then the same thing right here. Super, super easy. Like I said, I've never done this. Very, very straightforward. I think the most important thing is clean, dry, and let it cure as long as you can. The instructions for this repair kit did say that you could go ahead and put this back into immediate service if you were like on the riverside. But as you know, you want to try to not use it if you can during that time. I'm going to let it sit overnight. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and move on here. I'm going to get set up and we're going to try to do these wrist gaskets. This would be a lot better video for y'all if I had a camera stand. I do not. So we're going to do this kind of as we go step by step. So that's really all I did. Took very, very little aqua seal. This is a tiny little tube. I barely used any of it, you can see. But got this done. The instruction says that on these size holes, pin holes, not tears, you can just use a little bit of aqua seal. I went ahead and patched them. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So that's my motto. Let's let this do its thing. Let's set up and try to do a wrist gasket, see how that goes. Well, my dumbass bought small gaskets. I'm not sure why, but you know, who knows why I do the things that I do. We definitely need some large ones. So we'll call that a video. We did some patches. Yeah, hopefully it helped you out. Probably didn't, but helped me out. Learn that I'm a dumbass. Gotta call and see if I can return these and get some larges, because nobody around here wears a small. They had to have made the mistake. I don't know that I did that, but you know, whatever. It happened. The neck gasket's also small, which I didn't realize. So next video.